On the starting of the episode, Mshengu was reading some love letters. Mamchunu enters there abruptly, and Mshengu throws the letters down on the floor and pretends to be reading newspapers. Mamchunu asks if he's okay and what he's doing upstairs. Mshengu replies, "Sometimes people just need some alone time, and he was alone here for some meditation and to stay away from whatever happens in house all the day." Then they both leave the room together. Q. Now we see Nkubeko and Doreen talking about Mshengu, where Doreen asks him to give Mshengu a chance to make everything clear, but Nkubeko says he don't want to talk about Mshengu. Even he doesn't want to hear his name, and there's nothing new that Mshengu can tell him. When Doreen again tries to convince him, he says, "If you want to talk to him or get back to him, you can do it. Do whatever you want, but don't involve me in this," when he bids goodbye to Doreen and leaves for office. In this scene, Donga is upset on Mantombela for the disrespect she showed the last night. He says, "You're telling me to do whatever please me, so basically you're telling your husband to rape you." But Mantombela doesn't think she said anything wrong because Donga also disrespect her many times, and he even shares their bedroom affairs to his mother. Listening to this, Donga says he does it because he wants to continue the lineage of Mshengus, and the womb belongs to the Mshengus also. After a few bargaining, Donga asks Mantombela if she will say sorry for what she did last night or not. On this, Mantombela says, "When will you say sorry for throwing away my pills?" Mshengu visits Doreen's place and starts to blabber about his official issues, but Doreen gets irritated and asks, "What are you venting to me instead of venting to your wife? And what are you doing here?" Mshengu gets silent and then says, "I came here to see you." Mantombela breaks some plates on the restaurant mistakenly, and Indumiso asks her if she's alright. Then she is whatever she is going through with Donga and how he is forcing her to have a baby. Then Indumiso tries to console her and advises to be more understanding and considerate about each other because that's how marriage works. Scene shifts back to Mshengu and Doreen. She brings tea for Mshengu, then sit beside him. Mshengu shows her a love letter, which was written by Doreen to him 20 years ago, when she was in UK and they were still in love. Then they talk about their old days and the letter, but Doreen says, "You should throw this because it was written long time ago. Things have changed now." But Mshengu keeps it in his pocket, comparing it to a sonnet of Shakespeare. Then he says, "Maybe Nkubeko needs to know his mother never abandoned him." Doreen becomes happy hearing that. Scene shifts to Mamchunu. Mamchunu was cleaning up Mshengu's personal chamber and she finds a photo on the floor. It was an old and young-aged photo of Doreen and Mshengu kissing each other. Nkubeko visits Indumiso on his restaurant happily, but Indumiso insults him and shouts, "Hey, you murderer, get out of here," in front of everyone present there. Nkubeko says, "You can call me by these names when I found guilty," and also reminds Indumiso that he was the one who helped Indumiso when the whole family turned their backs on him, but Indumiso doesn't care about all this and he insults Nkubeko and tells him to get out. Kathazile comes Mamchunu and she starts to complain about what she's going through. She says she have realized that the Shah Allah childrens are the only one who matter in this house. The daughter-in-laws are just here for their wombs and giving birth to kids. Nobody is there to defend them and complains Mamchunu for stopping her to defend for herself. Mamchunu tries to make her understand that it's not like that, but Kathazile was heartbroken. Nkubeko was talking on the phone, and meanwhile, Mshengu enters on his chamber. Then he first talks about Mr. Druni saying he's a troublesome. Then Mshengu hand over some old letters to Nkubeko, which was written by his mother when she was in UK and Nkubeko was a kid. Then Mshengu says he hidden those letters these years because he wanted to protect Nkubeko. Then he leaves giving the letters to Nkubeko. Nkubeko starts to read all the letters and started to cry for his misconception all over his childhood that his mother abandoned him. Chidi comes to meet Indumiso and she was looking upset. Indumiso asks her where she was. He was calling him all the day and she says she was at work. Then Indumiso takes his phone to book a massage for Chidi so that she'll feel relaxed. But Chidi asks him if he's married. Indumiso gets shocked at first and then says it's kind of true, but it's a long story.